You are listening to Denny Radio, and you're not alone. Oh, wait, maybe you are. Talk 920.
All right, welcome back. Friday night broadcast, having some fun on the radio. We have Fox 5 senior I-Team reporter Dale Russell, along with Governor Nathan Deal's spokesman, Brian Robinson. Welcome back, both you gentlemen. It started last night with an investigative report from Fox 5, Dale Russell, wanting some answers to some questions about Denise Deal and her involvement with the campaign. Let's bring Brian back in. Dale, welcome back. I know Dale's already there. Let's bring Brian in. Brian, you said you had one more question for Dale before we let you go.
Right. They make it sound like they can't find this P.O. box. They can't find out who owns Southern Magnolia. If you Google Southern Magnolia Capital, Denise's name, address, and phone number come up. It's the fourth item. Now, that was live on the Georgia Chamber of Commerce website for days before he went on the air with that report. I know that Dale knows how to use Google. It is the fourth item. Anybody can look it up. Southern Magnolia Capital, her name, her address, her phone number come up. And he makes it sound like it's a giant secret. He goes to this post office box.
Brian, wait, let's take this one step at a time here. Why did she not register with the Georgia Chamber of Commerce back in January of 2010?
You don't register with Georgia Chamber of Commerce. She joined it this year.
Okay, I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. Why did she not join the Georgia Chamber of Commerce and list her name in January of 2010?
I'm not sure that you understand what the Georgia Chamber of Commerce is, Dale. It's not a legal entity.
Can you just answer the question? Why did she not join it?
Why would she join it in January of 2010?
Well, maybe she would want to promote her company.
Dale, if the first thing you do is start a business, Dale, is to write a check to a third party.
Okay.
You know, the business is now on its feet. It can now get into a place where it can do things that cost expenditures, such as joining the Georgia Chamber of Commerce.
The fact of the matter
is, the first thing a
is,
business does.
During the entire campaign, the website, what you're talking. Listen, Brian, you're misleading people, and you know it. And I know
you're misleading people, Dale.
Listen,
I'm
Brian,
sure you don't know
Denny,
it.
Yes.
Give me a second. I will give you the facts.
Okay.
The website, the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, that Brian is talking about, with Denise Deal's name on it, is on Google today.
I found it today, too.
She signed up with the chamber on April 28th. I'm sorry, April 27th. It was the day before my interview with the governor's spokesperson.
So all your work...
It was not listed until May 9th of 2011.
Before your show.
The site that he is talking about, that he's trying to make you think we overlooked, that we didn't see, was put on after we came to them with his story, after they knew what the questions were going to be, and after our interview with the governor's spokesperson. Then they slide this in, and it's on Google.
How do we put something on the Georgia Chamber of Commerce site?
So Brian can now tell you that if you Google this, she's the fourth thing to come up.
So Dale, you're saying
it's always been there.
So Dale, you're saying that this is the reaction to your story.
It came up on May 9th, just 5 days ago.
Before your show.
4 days ago. I'm sorry, 4 days ago.
Before your show.
Yes.
But we didn't put anything in the Georgia Chamber of Commerce site. We had no power over that. That just sort of came up happenstance.
Oh, you just happened to go down to the chamber and join up right when we sit down with an interview with you. And by the way, it's not you, of course, it's Denise. And then it comes up on May 9th. So now you can tell people that it's on Google, Brian.
Good Lord, what a conspiracy!
It's not a conspiracy. It's the fact.
Joined the Chamber of Commerce, knowing they'll get on a website.
We got it from the Georgia Chamber of Commerce.
Oh my gosh! Now, Denny, this is exactly the mindset we're dealing with.
All right, Brian. I want to ask you this question though. Somebody who's starting out a business, and it looks like she started this business in January of 2010. Why wouldn't Southern Magnolia Capital always? It seems like most businesses always start out right off the bat by putting out a really nice website. Why didn't she do that, and why doesn't she have one today? I'm curious.
Well, it is a business where you don't have 100 clients. You have 4 or 5 clients. And in fact, she has 5 clients now. It's not a business where she's going to go out and do a lot of marketing. So it wouldn't make sense to spend $10,000 on building a website. And 2, Denny, I would remind you that in January of 2010, Denise Deal was working for the campaign. She was a little tied up. She was a little bit busy. I was there for most of last year, and I can tell you, I didn't have a whole lot of free time for creating websites.
Who registered her website?
Dale, I don't work for Southern Magnolia
Do you know the answer?
Capital.
Do you know the answer?
No. Why would I?
I'm just asking, Brian. I'm just asking a question. If I wondered if you knew who registered her website.
You just said she didn't have a website.
Denise, the Southern Magnolia Capital's website.
They don't have one, do they?
Y'all just told me that there wasn't one.
I never told you there's not an active one.
Okay.
There's a registration for one.
Oh, I see. So she's registered Southern Magnolia Capital.
Denise Steele did not register. Another PR firm registered. Her name is not on the registration.
So who's that PR firm?
Stone Ridge.
That's interesting. So, Dale, where does this go from here? Is this done, or is this going to keep going?
Oh, no, this is not done. We're still looking at it. I think there are other people that are looking at it, and I think there's more to come with this.
Brian, anything you want to say before I let you go?
Denny, let me make this clear.
Okay.
We still haven't been able to ask all the questions that we want to ask or get the answers that we think that the people of the state of Georgia are due.
Brian?
Yeah. The Deal campaign ran one of the most transparent, open, and accessible campaigns in the history of our state, and we are running one of the most open, transparent, and accessible administrations in the history of our state. And it's unfortunate. I think it's great that the media is out there making sure that all government agencies and all government public officials are abiding by the law. And so I admire people who do what Dale do day in and day out. Unfortunately, when they can't find anything, they just make stuff up. And I think that's what we're seeing here. I'm happy to have a sit-down and talk with Dale. I really am. I invited them in today, and nobody came to my office. I invited them because what they want to do is put a camera on you and then throw papers in your face and demand answers on what it is with papers you've never seen before. That's what they did to Philip Wilhite. And it's not good journalism. It is ambush journalism, and you don't get to the truth.
Brian, why do you keep saying things like this that are not true? Denny, let me tell you what happened.
Go ahead, Dale.
I called Stephanie Mayfield and told her that we were going to do this story. She asked for me to, in writing, give her the areas that we were going to cover.
And she
I sent her an email
who is
telling
Stephanie
her
now?
that these are the areas that we wanted to cover. Actually, I think I sent her. It might have been a Facebook message.
Right. Who is Stephanie though?
Or Facebook.
Because I don't know who
Stephanie Mayfield is one of the spokespeople for the governor.
All right.
They knew the story. They knew the topic. They knew what I was going to ask them. I asked to talk to the governor. They said no, but Philip Wilhite can talk to you. He knew the story. He knew the topics. He knew what we were going to ask him, and we came in and sat down. He was an extremely pleasant man. We had, I thought, a very good conversation. It was a long conversation, and we talked about it at length. So for Brian to sit here and say that we stick a camera in someone's face and throw documents at it is just fact wrong. It's not true, Brian, and you know it's not true, and you just said that, hoping that I wouldn't correct it.
I'm so glad that you brought that up. Mr. Wilhite gave Dale 40 minutes of his time, and Dale boiled that 40 minutes down to 2 clips of him saying, I don't know. And if that's a fair representation of a 40-minute conversation, then I am the creature from the Black Lagoon.
It wasn't 40 minutes, and we summarized what he told us in the story, and it's all in there. He told us that she worked hard. It's in the script. He told us her background. It's in the script. That she's the former president of the Hall County Chamber of Commerce. That she's got an MBA with the Rolodex a mile wide. Do you remember any of this, Brian?
I remember that.
It's in the script.
I'm
we talked about how good she was. We talked about
we are telling you openly that Denise Steele works for us. And the premise of your story is that it's a giant secret. What is wrong with her making the market rate for fundraisers when she did a great job and she is paid on a commission?
Because until we did our story, Brian, nobody in the state of Georgia knew that you had paid the governor's daughter-in-law $90,000 on top of her salary.
There is nobody in your organization who did not know that Denise Steele worked for us. Foxfire came to our campaign office all the time, and she was sitting right there. She's at every fundraiser we have. It is the worst hidden secret of all time. If this is a secret.
People knew she was on staff. People either thought she was a volunteer or that knew that she was on staff if they bothered to look at the campaign disclosures that are available to every citizen in the state of Georgia.
What's the scandal, Dale?
Ethics Commission.
She's not getting tax dollars.
But nobody would have known. Nobody in the state of Georgia who votes for the people that run this state would have known that your campaign decided to pay $90,000 to the daughter-in-law of the governor. And let me also remind you that Philip Wilhite, your own spokesman, told me, it's in the story, we knew this would be an issue, and I know I'm not naive. It has the appearance of a conflict of interest. That is from the words of the governor's spokesman, that we knew it was an issue, and we knew it appeared to be a conflict.
Denise had a contract that made her earn every cent
Is Philip Wilhite
that
wrong?
she earned. I tell you, I don't think that it is. I think I would differ with Philip on that. I don't think that it's a bad appearance because we have a contract. The public can see how much money we raised.
Will you show the contract to the public?
I'll have to talk to someone else about that because I don't work for Southern Magnolia Capital. I don't know why that's so difficult to understand here, but it's. I'm telling you, she got 10 brains.
I know what
She's
you
a private
said.
citizen.
Would you show
this is a
us
private
the documentation?
Entity. It is composed of money that is donated of free will by Georgians who want good government, good conservative government. And I don't know
Brian,
why it matters.
When you say what she raised, what Philip told me she did is that she monitored the fundraising activities of your other fundraising consultants. So how do you differentiate?
She was their boss. No.
That's not what Philip Wilhite told me. He told me she monitored. She was an in-house monitor for capital strategies. So how do you differentiate between what they raised and what she raises? And how does the campaign decide that?
Denise monitored, managed, whatever verb you want to use.
No, I'm sorry, Brian.
We took two people who had worked for capital strategies. We hired them onto the campaign after the primary. This is very complicated stuff, and you're making it look like it's more than it is. We hired two people who had worked for capital, and I'm giving you an answer.
You don't have to yell at me. Just
she managed
the
fundraising operation. That's what fundraisers do. Before she did it, Capital Strategies did it. We hired two people from Capital Strategies who had worked with us during the general campaign, and they worked under Denise. So if you don't like the word monitored, then managed.
All right, gentlemen, I need to hold on a sec, guys.
Every penny that she made.
If she managed the fundraising activities of other people, how do you determine which percentage and what percentage of the money she should be paid?
Hey, guys.
She gets 10% of what we raise, Dale.
Guys.
The people who work for her are salaried employees.
Can they hear me?
10% of what capital strategies
They're ignoring the host.
No, Dale.
That's not a good sign.
But you just told me that she managed them.
All right, so
that implies that they're the ones.
You have not been in politics for 30 years. This is so basic.
I think I'm going to have to take a commercial break and come back with my ruling to see who wins. Gentlemen, okay. Brian, are you willing to meet with Dale here to hash out all these questions and answers?
I would love for him to accept my invitation that I gave him today and come to my office on Monday.
You did not give me an invitation today, Brian, and you know that you did not.
I have an hour long.
Show me the message on my phone. Quit saying
it was
things.
during.
All right, hold on a second. Go ahead and put him on hold, Eugene, and let's bring him back
Denny Schaffer.
and see if we can't get a deal where these guys will have a meeting on Monday.
Denny Schaffer.
And we'll kind of, be a part of it here. Go ahead and put him back on hold, and then we'll bring him back and see if there's going to be a meeting. I'm Denny Schaffer, live and local on Talk 920.